Hey everybody, this is Kimberly, and you are watching Thriving on a Budget. I thought it would be a good idea to talk to you guys about tax season, since that is upon us. Some people have already been getting their tax returns, especially if you filed earlier. This is a good time to think about what you can do with your tax return that's going to benefit you the most. And that's different for everyone. I feel like some people view their tax return as play money and only play money. And if that's genuinely what you want to do with it, it's your money. But I feel like there's other options. There's options that can put you in a better financial situation the entire year. And I would more encourage to do something like that. And depending on what your situation is, would determine how you can best spend that tax return. If you are just hardcore hurting, you are paycheck to paycheck, there's a couple different options. Sorry, my eyes are just everywhere. I'm so tired today. But there's a couple different options of things that you can do. Okay? If you are hurting paycheck to paycheck, you don't necessarily know if you'll have enough money for your bills. You don't know, where your next meal's coming from, stuff like that. There's a couple different options how you can approach that. You can either build up a little pantry or stockpile of food. And I'm not talking like the panic buying apocalypse stuff. I'm talking about enough to feed your family for like a month, maybe two. Like if you're really hurting and food is one of the things you guys hurt on, think of how you can at least have some in your pantry. Enough that if bills are tight, you have something to eat. Things like pastas and rice and canned soups and canned vegetables and things like that. When it comes to setting food aside, especially when you are trying to make sure you can get by the next month, I really encourage shelf stable stuff because you can't guarantee what's going to happen. If your fridge goes out and you've just stashed away, $200 worth of food in your freezer, hoping that was going to help you guys out, but then your freezer dies, then you're $200 short and all the food's gone. So I encourage shelf stable food when you are trying to get in a more stable situation. In addition to that, another thing you can think of, a lot of different banks and credit unions have the option for sub accounts. And if that's true at your credit union or bank, I would look into that. You can have an account that specifically says monthly bills. So when you get your tax return, you can pull out enough of that tax return that it either will cover your bills for the entire month or it can cover a chunk of them. Even if all it did was cover your rent or mortgage for the month, that means that when your paycheck comes, you're already in a better situation. And if you use your monthly bills account, pay the bill ahead of time, then when you get the paycheck, you can decide if you just want to throw that money back in there. So you now have that same amount for rent or mortgage or whatever. Or you can get ahead on something else. So you can either just kind of rotate that account that you have money in there, pay the bills with it, and then when you get paid, you put money back in there. That is a way to stop living paycheck to paycheck, is simply by being ahead on your bills, even by 1 month. So either building up, not even building up, but just taking your tax return, taking a chunk of it and put it in a monthly bills account can make a huge difference. Making sure that you have food in your pantry can make a huge difference. So if that's the situation you're in, because I've been in that stage of life and it happens to everyone, if you are literally paycheck to paycheck or don't know if you're going to have enough food for the month or whatever it is, figure out which one of those is going to benefit you more and utilize your tax return that way. If you're in a little bit better situation, if you want to throw $1,000 or $2,000 or however big your tax return is, you take some of that and put it in a savings account. So you have something for emergencies in case stuff happens. So anywhere on the spectrum, it can be for food, it can be for a month's worth of bills, it can be savings, or if you're in a little bit better situation or you just kind of want to utilize this differently, you can get ahead on your car payments. You can get ahead on your car insurance. That is what I've been doing the past 2 years is I pay 6 months of car insurance at a time with my tax return. I'll pay 6 months at a time. So my car insurance is not coming out of my pocket, for a couple of months, so I can throw that money at something else. If I have a need to go get a car repair, if I have to go to the doctors, things like that. So if you really utilize your tax return, it can genuinely help get you in a better situation. It can help pay off that car. It can help, you can take that money and put it towards a down payment for a house. You can do it you can take some of your tax return and buy all your kids their school clothes for the year. You can use it to whatever it is that you need. If you have been needing dental work for a really long time and you just keep putting it on the back burner, you can take care of that. But I really think that when it comes to getting our tax returns, it really benefits us more to plan ahead. So with tax returns coming up and a stimulus coming up, apparently, think of how you can utilize this money to benefit you and bless you longer rather than just a big screen TV now or a trip to Disneyland now. All of those are good things, and if you're already in a good enough situation that isn't going to take away from improving your lifestyle, then do that. If you are already in a better spot, then by all means, use it as play money. But if you are sick of living paycheck to paycheck, if you're sometimes not always in a food secure household, if you can barely afford your car payments, whatever it is, if you plan to utilize your tax return to actually fix those little situations, your year will go by so much smoother. And you will see how possible it is to be in a better financial situation. So I want you to just kind of ponder on that personally and think of how you could better your year and better your situation by planning with your tax return. And you can even break it up into clumps. You can put, okay, this much is going into savings. This much is going into a food stash. So we have, a month's worth of pasta and pancake mix and soup. So I know I can feed my family this whole month. This is something to consider, and I hope that this video helps somebody. Have a fantastic night, guys. Bye.